Hello everyone, it's Junie. I'm coming back with my tackle box. I'm doing laundry and I've got the kids down for bed. And it's a Saturday night and I've got some time to kill. So, getting the laundry done so we can have everything done for church in the morning, and decided to go through the tackle box. So this is the 2023 tackle box. So I'm going to clean it out, see what we need to get rid of, organize, disorganize, so forth. So basically what we have here is an assortment of lures. And now I like to fish for panfish, trout, just about everything, bass. And this one right here is more like a couple of the lakes and ponds that I go to. So this is what I use that for. So what I need to do is kind of like organize it just to make sure it's like, good. So what these are like little crankbaits, but they're the small crappie ones. I don't know if you've ever seen these before. So here you go. And they're only about $2.50 at Walmart. And they're the crappie crankbaits. So there's that. This here is a bait. Oh, I want to say chatterbait, but let me see what that is. I believe it's chatterbait. Yeah. I don't know the model number of it. The lighting in here is not that great, but it's a chatterbait. So, and I got a white one. I used to have a black one with a black tail. So white and black is what I try to keep to, just simple colors. So there's that. And normally what I store in there are the little swim baits, and these you could just get at Bass Pro or wherever you get your baits. So I like these. That's nice for the bass. So let's see. Got those. Some crankbaits in here. So what these are like micro lures that you can get. And I got this at Bass Pro. And where I fish, sometimes the fish, when it's cold weather and you're starting to go out for spring, sometimes you need like the little micro baits, but don't let these fool you. These can catch big fish. You just have to make sure when you buy them that they have good hooks on them. And this right here is the cotton cordell one. It's like the famous one that they do at Walmart. And these little ones are awesome. I highly recommend these. I catch all kinds of fish on these. So I always keep a few of those in there. So I'm gonna put the hard baits there. Some swim baits here. I got some stuff that just needs to be cleaned up. So right here is just an assortment of hooks. Now you don't need to have this many hooks or very similar sizes. I have them because I do a lot of fishing and I love to fish. I'm on the lake a lot in the summer. So that's why we have lots and lots of different hooks. And then as you can see, size 8. And I do weedless hooks because like if I am out in a lake and it's got lots of grass and stuff like that, these come in handy, the weedless hooks. So I always try to keep that in all the tackle boxes. And then like small like bait holder stuff. So if you get some minnows and stuff like that, and just like regular, sunfish stuff or panfish, depending on where you live in the area or where you grow up, or a little different. And then here's some spinner baits, like this right here is a Meps. I do like Meps and Panther Martin as well. I just love spinner bait fishing. I also have some like spinner bait flies, which are the Joe's flies. If you've never used these are really good for like bass fishing and also like trout fishing. So if you do any bass or trout, these are really good, especially when the fish are not biting. Those work. Now those are like an old school type thing to have in your box. I know my grandpa, he lived in Kentucky when he was alive, and so he always had those in the box. So that's why I keep them in there. And here's another Meps, just a couple different spinners. This one's a chartreuse one, so like if I'm in dirty water, that hopefully will get maybe a bite, I hope. I love these. These right here are Blue Fox spinners that you can get at Walmart. You get about like, I believe like 6 of them for like $7 or $8. These catch a lot of trout. So if you do a lot of trout fishing, you should try these. You might like these because I catch a ton of trout on these. And I have some videos on my channel, so if you want to go look at those. And then this right here is another MEPS. And they're just different spinners. Like, you know, some days they'll only hit gold. Some days they'll hit silver. Some days they won't hit any of those. That's why you have like so many fishing lures. So if you're like a spouse of a fisherman out there and you're watching, yeah, you do need extra lures and stuff, but you don't need like a ton. So right now I'm trying to go through everything just to make sure everything's good. This is a clipper to cut the line. A couple different kinds of bobbers, because you just never know, like if you want weighted bobber, an unweighted bobber, you just don't know what you're fishing, like what the water is going to be like. I carry a couple different kinds of split shots, and I like to buy stuff that's made in the USA. I think it's important that we try to support people that work here, and so I go out of my way to purchase made in the USA items. But you know, I get a couple split shots. They're different sizes, just so that, you know, I just have them. And these are starting to get really hard to find, these made in the USA ones. So if you're lucky enough to find them, you might want to grab some for your tackle box. Here, if you live in Illinois, Michigan, or Indiana, you probably have seen these. These are basically almost in everybody's tackle box that's old school. And these are like the bass worms. And this one is a weedless one. And it comes pre-rigged, and it has like the stuff, like where you can just put it on the, like that. And it's just weedless, and then that way you can catch some bass. And believe it or not, they really work really good in the area. You know, at first I thought it was, oh, like that's gimmicky, like, no, that's not gonna work. But no, they do, they work a lot. And I always keep them in here because I always lose them, because the pike will come up and they'll bite and they'll snap them off. If you've never caught a pike, then, you know, you want to have like a metal runner thing, because pike will bite your line and like destroy it. So let me put that back in there. And I have a couple different colors of those, but the purple and white seem to do really good in the areas, but I have a natural one as well. And so I try to keep those in the tackle box. Let me put the weights back. So there's the top one. Nothing fancy, nothing too out of the ordinary, just basic fishing lures. So let's open this box up, and then we'll go to the next one. So let's look at the second tray. The second tray, I've got some stick baits, and I do buy good stick baits. I do buy like Rapala and, you know, Smithwick. I like to buy good stuff when I buy. So I think they last longer, and you get quality, better hooks on them than on some of the cheaper ones. So that's what I buy. This one here is a cotton cordell one. You don't, no, I don't know if that's cotton cordell, is it? Let me see. No, it's Rebel. This one's a Rebel. Sometimes they'll say like on the bill, but these are nice. I love Rebel lures. I normally do like the straight silver ones, silver and black ones, but sometimes I don't have it. It'll look like this, but longer. So like these Rebel lures, they work really good, especially the silver and black. If you can get those, you should try them if you've never tried them before. And then, of course, you know, everybody's crankbait, KBD 1.5 and KBD 2.5. So these work. And these are the cream worms. They're just regular worms. I have these in here because I wanted to try these out. And they were catching. I went to a lake, and that was the only thing they would bite, was this weird little worm. But on other lakes, I've not had any success with them. So I think it's hit or miss with that. Oops. And here's another one. This is a topwater. The way you could tell is there's no bill and it'll stay on top of the water. So it's a jerk bait like that. Then of course a lipless crankbait doesn't have the bill, so yeah. And I have just different brands and kinds. I'm not a brand snob. No one pays me to do this. This is my own personal tackle. Here is basically just some baits and stuff that I have. These are like the old school. Not a lot of people do these like baits like this. I want to say it's a buzz bait, but it's not. It's a what is that? Jitter frog is what it says. But when you pull it through the water, it pulls it and it's like like that. So if you've never tried these before, you might like these. Give them a try. So what I'm trying to do too is I'm doing this. I'm trying to cut off line and make sure everything's not rusted and all that. I have a ton of lures. I'm a foster mom. Plus we go out on the lake, and since I live in an area where I live literally within walking distance of probably 6 or 7 different ponds and lakes. So there's that one. I like that one. That's a topwater one. Here's another topwater one, and this is an old school, and it's got the tail. Some people like the old school ones, some people don't. And there's a popper frog, and then there's a smaller one in there. Then here's the rebel popper. You know, you just have to just get to know your area, see what works. I do a black and green frog. There you go. I believe this one's a scum frog. I've had that one forever. This one, I believe, is Ozark Trail. So there's that. And of course, more bobbers, just, you know, because I do a lot of bobber fishing. So down below, I always try to put a pair of gloves. These are from Harbor Freight, nothing fancy. Just sometimes you'll get a fish that could be tangled up in somebody else's line, or they could have like something sticking out of them, which I've seen them with like lures stuck on them and broken off. So sometimes you might need this, or you might have fish with teeth, and that's always good to have. So here's that. Let me put my clippers back. So down here is a little bit of a mess. I need to organize this a little bit better down here. And so let's kind of see what we got in here. And I cleaned it up at the end of the season, so I washed all the towels and stuff just to make sure it's fresh for the next season. Okay, so let's kind of see what's in here. So what I have is a pair of hemostats, and the reason that I have this is sometimes the fish may swallow the hook. This way I can get a little further down, get the hook out. And just in case I need a smaller pair of hemostats, I have this one. So that's there. And of course, this cuts braided line. This is a Cuda scissor, so that can cut the braided line. And I keep barrel swivels in there, just different sizes, because sometimes I need it for panfish, sometimes I need it for like bass fishing or something bigger. Okay, I always try to keep a knife in here. Sometimes if I'm out and I'm hiking, I'll start a fire and I'll eat the fish right on site. You know, that'd be my lunch or dinner or whatever it is. Here is some more like soft baits that you can do, and they're like grub types of baits, and you can put them on a jig head and jig them out there, and that catches all sorts of fish. I keep a tape measure in here because where I live, you have to make sure that you're legal. I also keep the brochure of the state that I'm fishing in, so I know what's legal, the legal limits, and what you can take and what you can't take, and all that. Here is a weigher, so just in case I catch that big, gigantic, enormous one. Now, what I do every season, I change out the batteries just to make sure I have fresh batteries in them. And in case I'm keeping fish, I always have a stringer. And then, let's see. I'm glad I'm coming through because I'm finding like spoons. Spoons are another good thing to fish with, so I'm gonna put that on the top there. Here's my jig heads. Another MEP spinner. And these are nice. Or this is a Panther Martin, excuse me. And, you know, different colors for different areas. You never know what's biting or what's using. Various jig heads and stuff. And I just put it in here because I have like a little spot. And then I put these either right behind it, like that, or in front. I have some weedless wacky rig stuff. So if I want to take like a Senko and wacky rig it, I can do that. I always keep suntan lotion and bug spray. And a lot of people, when they go fishing, forget these things, especially the suntan lotion. And I will see people burnt so bad that, you know, they're seriously going to be hurting for days. And you can get skin cancer from getting sunburnt that much. So always carry some suntan lotion and bug spray. I also keep an empty Ziploc bag in here. And the reason I do that is, like, if I go fishing and I have some lures that are wet or dirty that need attention, I can put them in there, and I can either fix them when I get home or toss them out, or I can put some line in there that's just extra, that's just garbage, so that way I can pack out my garbage. I also carry some lighter line, so sometimes if I'm bass fishing and I get to a spot and I notice that a lot of panfish are around, then I will add this on, make a liter of 4 pound, and go for the panfish. Sometimes you're going to need to do like Texas rigs or Carolina rigs, so you need like the beads. And I have to get, I don't have my weights in here for my Texas or Carolina rigs, so that's something I have to put in here. Here I have some catfish box because I do like to go catfishing. There's a couple ponds around me that have a lot of catfish. And you don't need anything fancy to go catfishing, just, you know, a little tackle. And so yeah. So, and here's the microliters I was talking about, just in case you do the pike, and they're metal and you can hook those on. So if they bite, they're going to bite that and not bite your line in two. That's why I have those. And then this right here is for slip bobbers. So what a slip bobber is, it's kind of like one of these. And when I buy a slip bobber, I always buy the metal ones. I just think they last longer. Then I'll put the bead, one of these beads on there as well, on the top and bottom. And this is the depth. So you'll put that on your line, tie it, and you can put that in the garbage and stuff once you're done with it. So yeah, so that's what you do. If you have any questions about how to do that, just let me know and I can do a video on that, like show you how to do a slip knot or slip bobber. So I always tell everybody you should have like a good set of needle nose pliers. You want something that's going to be able to get the hook out of the mouth. Like I said, you need some line pliers. Always keep a rag in there because you're going to need to wash your hands. So what I need to do in here is get some bullet weights. I don't have any in here, or bass hooks. So I need to do that and put a thing of singles in here. I think what we did is we pulled them out when we went fishing. So here's some more panfish stuff, like little grubs and stuff that you could do. All sorts of them, little fish ones, different shapes, sizes, and colors. This right here is a trout magnet. Now, if you do trout fishing, these are good, but these also catch a lot of perch and bass. So if you like perch and bass, you might want to try those. Even though it's made for trout, you can use it for other fish. Okay, that's another grub. And here's just some extra hooks. I'm gonna put those up there. And here's some crappie magnets, which is kind of like the trout ones, but if you notice the size difference, I don't know if you can tell, there's a difference. Trout ones are smaller, the crappie ones are a little bigger. But you can get away with using either one, so you don't need both. And then here's some bobby garlands. They work really good. So these are the ones that, this looks like a shad. And then the pinks always work good in the water so I'm fishing. So that's what I have. But other than that, this is my little tackle box. I just go to like the lake or pond. There's like a little hiking trail that I like to go on too, and it's not too far, so the hard box is fine to go in there. Now, if you're going to go really far into the woods, I would probably get one that is a soft bag that can go over your shoulder, or even a backpack. Reason is because when you hike in, you want to probably keep your hands free, because I don't know if you're going up hills or down hills or whatever. So holding this, if you're going up and down, if you fall, you're going to fall and spill everything out. Hopefully this will stay latched, but you know, they don't really build the tackle boxes like they used to. This is made in the USA, so you can still buy some stuff, but you know, it's hard the quality is just not like it used to be. But anyway, this is Junie. If you could like and subscribe, hit that bell notification. If you want to see any of my other tackle boxes, please let me know. See you soon.